This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by the unified super featherweight champion of the world, Mikaela Mayer here. Wembley Stadium, Fury against Whyte this Saturday night. Mikaela, how are you finding the UK?
Love, am I holding this?
We'll go back.
Okay. Love the UK, love the energy. The fans here are great, so I've been wanting to come back, and I'm glad I'm here for such a big fight.
We obviously saw you doing some punditry work for Sky for the Boxer series. How did you find the whole experience? Obviously not the first time you've been here in the UK, but how did you find it all? I'll hold the mic.
That was great. I really liked the Boxer Series tournament. It brought me back to my amateur days, because you're doing 3-minute rounds. And so it was fun to commentate that type of style of fight, because I think I had a different perspective than the other commentators or judges, because I know that there's a lot of different strategy that goes into 3-minute rounds. So it was fun. I think I got a couple fighters mad at me for my honesty, but hey.
How do you compare the fans here in the UK to the ones in the US?
So it's definitely a different energy here in the UK. The market in the US is very difficult because you have so much competition for the media's attention. The NFL, the NBA, Hollywood. Everything is just so competitive, and so it's a tough market, but I have a duty to sort of help build women's boxing in the U.S. I'm one of the few women who have the platform with Top Rank on ESPN, so I'm game, and I'm still working to, build our fan base and develop a market there. But here it's already sort of flourishing, and so I'd be stupid not to come over here and sort of take advantage of that and get familiar with the fan base and spend more time here.
Obviously, Top Rank have a deal with Sky Sports, so can we see you in the UK at some point?
Definitely. We've been talking about it. We want to get out here and perform for everybody and put on a fight. We know that's what the fans want, so I'm all about the fans. We're looking at sometime this year, so we should know soon. We haven't really got to talk details yet because I just fought like a week and a half ago, came straight here, so been crazy busy, but we're working on it, yeah.
Before we talk about your fight, you signed a new deal with Top Rank recently. Just talk us through that decision and what Top Rank have done for your career.
Top Rank has been amazing. The last 5 years with Top Rank has been, I have no complaints. They've moved me really well. I have 17 fights, 17-0. They got me world title fights, WO, IBF, I'm Ring Magazine champion, and so I really have no complaints. I'm main event on ESPN. They have me out here doing UK tours and commentating on ESPN and Sky Sports, and so they've been great. I have no complaints. I really wouldn't be looking any other direction. When our contract was up, it was no question that I was going to re-sign with Top Rank because they haven't done anything to rub us the wrong way or given us any reason to look elsewhere. So this deal has been the deal of a lifetime, something that I've always dreamed of having. Great for women's boxing, a contract I don't think women's boxing has seen yet, so it set the bar and the standard, which is what I'm here to do. And I will now have 3 years of tough fights. It's going to be hard, and I'm going to earn that money, but I'm going to retire 35 and healthy with my belts and with the money.
We saw you beat Jennifer Han. She went the distance with Katie Taylor as well. So how did you find your performance?
I think I did well against Jennifer Han. We knew we were going up against a little slightly tougher version, I think, because she was just coming off having her baby when she fought Katie Taylor, and after going into a training camp against someone like Katie Taylor, you hit a new level, and so we expected to face a tougher version of Han, but she fought exactly the way we expected her to, or exactly the way the coach Al dissected her and came up with the game plan. He's a genius when it comes to that, and so she did everything that he said he was going to do. Very defensive, the movement, and then when you get inside, she wants to hold and tie you up. So that was a little tricky, but again, we prepared for it. So I think I did really well. I think I showed another aspect of my game. I think, again, Hamadouche, I showed a side that people didn't expect. They didn't know I had that in me, and I wanted to continue to do that and show my versatility, because I do think I'm one of the most versatile boxers out there. And I think I did that. And I think I gave fans a fight to sort of compare me versus Katie Taylor, because now we have a common opponent, and I want people to get excited about that fight in the future.
Now, when I spoke to you probably a year or a year and a half ago, whenever it was, all the eyes were on you versus Mikaela Mayer. in the space of a year, it's kind of flipped over to you and Alycia Baumgardner. First of all, on that, has that kind of surprised you how quickly sort of the attention's gone from Harper to Baumgardner?
No, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's not really about Baumgardner. It's about the fact that she has the belt. Harper had the belt. These are just bodies behind something that I want, which is that belt, because that's my goal, to go undisputed. And they have the belt, and so they're the best, and I need to challenge them, and that's what I want to do because that's the legacy I want to leave. So when Harper had the belt, I came for Harper. Now that Baumgardner has the belt, I'm coming for her. Baumgardner seems to think that because she has one belt suddenly and has finally accomplished something in boxing, that everyone owes her something, that everyone has to tiptoe around her now and that come to her and that she's the A-side, which is completely false. I am the champion. If she wants to be a champion and challenge herself against the best, then she'll come for me and she'll want the belt. And she still wants to unify with me and get my belts, but she hasn't been very vocal about that. She says I need to wait and it's her time and she's going to enjoy her belt and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't know where she gets this entitlement, but that's not what the fans want. The fans want to see the best go against each other, and I don't think we need to wait for that to happen. I don't think we need a year and a half build-up. I think that's what the few months leading into the fight is for. That's the build-up. So I'm ready to make that happen when she is.
What did you make of her performance last week?
I thought her performance was very subpar, very boring, she showed that she's very one-dimensional, doesn't have a second gear, just sort of cruise through the fight, and that's the opposite of what I've shown. I kick into second, third gear. I take it to my opponents, and I just don't think she has that fight in her. I think that she has one good thing, and that's her right hand, but she's not going to land that against everybody. She should have taken that opponent out. If she has the power that she says she does, and she's this big knockout artist, she should definitely have taken her opponent out. And so I still think she has a lot to prove. She's definitely not as well-rounded and experienced as me, and so she needs to keep working hard.
When I spoke to her last week before a fight, she said that because Choi has the belt and the other belt, and she's with Matchroom, both with Matchroom, that they'll fight first and then you. So what do you do in the meantime?
Well, exactly, right? So I'm not going to sit around and take basic fights. That's not what I'm about. That's not the kind of champion that I want to be. So in the meantime, if I have to go up and challenge other champions, then I'm going to do that. I would love to fight the winner of Taylor Serrano. And that's not to say I'm not going to come back down or that the fight between me and Baumgardner won't happen. I'm making this fight very easy to happen. I am not making this difficult at all. This will happen. It's not because of me, it's because of her and her team. So, but if I have to go up and challenge someone else who's game and a better champion than she is, in the meantime, I will.
Are you looking at both Taylor and Serrano? Because, whoever wins or loses, that's still a big fight for you.
I think it's a win-win for me, for women's boxing. I don't think that either one is a lesser fight, even if I go up against the person who didn't come out on top in that fight. I would love to have someone like Serrano or Taylor on my resume. I think they both make for great fights. They've done a lot for women's boxing, and that's who I want on my resume. Big names.
Sure, we'll speak on Fight Week, but early thoughts on the fight, Taylor and Serrano?
It's a 50-50 fight. They both come from such different backgrounds, such different styles. They both bring a lot to the table. Katie Taylor, with her amateur experience, she's fought a lot of big names and a lot of different styles, and she's fast, and the in and out movement and high punch count can be really tricky for a pro style. So I actually have her winning the first half, and I see Serrano with her sound pro style sort of closing the gap in that second half and sort of, imposing her will. And I don't know. I think that everyone thinks that Serrano's going to stop Katie, but I'm going to give Katie the benefit of the doubt and think that she's tough. She knows how to survive. And even though we've seen her hurt and we've seen her in those moments, I don't know, I'm going to say it goes to decision. We'll see who had their better half of the fight.
And just finally, Fury Whyte over here, at this stadium, 94,000 fans this Saturday night. How do you see the fight going?
Team Fury. I've been Team Fury since the beginning. I think he's very, very highly skilled. He's a heavyweight that has lightweight talent. I mean, the speed and the footwork and staying behind the jab and just the light on his feet, and I'm really a big fan of that. I think he's got the better reach advantage, the height advantage. I think he's more conditioned and just more all-around skilled. So I think White's going to bring it to him, try and land big shots. You have someone tall like that. He's a lot shorter. He's going to try and land those big bombs, but I don't know. I think if Wilder couldn't take him out, Dillian won't be able to either.
All right, Mikaela Mayer, thanks for talking to Pro Boxing fans, and enjoy the rest of your time in London.
Thank you.